Pastor Devin, aka Kofi, aka Ashe, coming at you real quick. Just got a real quick video. Wanted to talk with you guys about something that's important that we need to make sure that we're aware of. And really, I guess if I had a title for this little video or sermonette, if you will, it was just would be that love requires reassurance, right? Love requires reassurance. Love, our working definition here at SOC is that love is an action so powerful that it brings about description, or it is a description so powerful that it brings about manifestation. And forgive me, I'm a little out of it. I'm gonna try and make it through this, but when it comes to love, I was talking to somebody a little while ago, and this person was having issues with somebody in their family. And so when we got down to it, I started asking them certain things that they were doing. Have you tried this? What is the person eating? Because that could be changing, what the person's going through, how things are firing off in the brain. We went through a litany of things, or a litany of things rather, and at the end of it, they started, kind of getting frustrated and kind of going off a little bit and being like, oh, well, yeah, you know what, you're right. I don't do this and I don't do that and I'm a bad person. And I had to stop them. I said, whoa, that's not what I'm saying. All right. What I'm saying, and I had to tell them, like, you're a great person. You're an amazing person. You're an awesome friend. You're doing everything that you can to make things better. These are just things that we have to go through to make sure that are we, in fact, putting our best foot forward, and are we coming up with something that's going to be good, a good plan, a good strategy that will help you to succeed in the area that you're trying to succeed within this person, or with this person. And after that, they calmed down, and we were able to just kind of go right back into the conversation. And it turned out that the things I was suggesting that they were getting so frustrated about didn't have anything to do with it anyways. But I had to reassure them in the middle of the conversation that, hey, this is not about downing you. This is not about making you feel bad about who you are. I'm not trying to frustrate you. I am simply trying to make sure that, we do the best that we can for the individual that you're talking about. And then I thought about myself, and I said, wow, how many times have I been someone who has felt the same way? I felt frustrated. I felt upset. I've felt tossed to the side. I felt, who is this person to talk to me like this? Different things like that, simply because, of, I don't know, because of just, not feeling confident in self, maybe knowing that I can do certain things better. And so even if people are not talking about what I think they're talking about, I go to those things simply because, oh, they must be talking about me. And the reality is that's not the case, but somebody who really loves you, or if you really love somebody else, you're going to take time out to reassure them and to remind them that they are great. And don't take offense to it. There are going to be some people who are going to jump at you because they've lived in a world, and a lot of us have lived in a world and in a society, in a system that says for whatever reason you're not as good. You're not as good because of the color of your skin. You're not as good because you're not part of my religion. I had a Jehovah's Witness knock on the door today, and I spoke to them. And, in the middle of the conversation, one of them said, oh, well, we're praying for you that you actually, learn the truth. And so, I had to ask them what was the truth, what is the truth that you're talking about? And they didn't know that I actually was versed. They didn't understand what my beliefs were. They didn't understand how much I study, etc. But you got to understand, a lot of people, we live in a society where people are going at each other and have been trained to go at each other. And so a lot of us are always on defense mode. When I walk out the door, there's a certain group of people where I have to be on defense mode. There's people who look at me because I won't get a haircut like everybody else, and they automatically think certain things, or because I'm not worried about a shape up if I wear certain clothes. People will think that you're homeless because you don't have the clear, concise cut. I mean, it's ridiculous to me. Some people will be like, yeah, you do, but whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what it is, there's a bunch of things. Long story short, there are a bunch of things that people are feeling defensive about. Maybe you dealing, for those of you who are in a relationship, and you're the husband in the relationship, or the male in the relationship, and your wife is seems to be tripping every time that you say something, that she's always talking about why you got to say this, why you got to say that. But you got to think too, was that happening to her when she was growing up? inside her own house? Did she have a mother or a father who was always saying that she wasn't good enough at something? At school, was she looked down upon? Right? Not only she was, you got to understand, if you have a, even forget school, as an adult, understand that if you are with a woman, if you are with a female, I know some of y'all don't like the word female, but hopefully you can understand what it is in this context and know that I'm not against you as a female, as a woman, as a feminine spirit, etc. Just because I would use the word female, but I'm trying to talk about, scientifically, as a, in the way the world looks at a female. They look at her as weaker. They look at her, she shouldn't know math as well. She shouldn't know science as well. She's not supposed to be as smart. And we know a lot of these things are far from the truth. And a lot of times we even have women out here who have to, females out here who even have to, um, kind of close in, and they'll go out on dates and they won't show their true selves because they don't want to be threatening to their counterpart. Or when they go out at night, they have to be smart enough to walk through in the middle of the day, not say the wrong thing, or I'm sorry, middle of the night, not say the wrong thing that might entice a man, but at the same time not say something that would make him upset and feel like, or even say something that makes him feel like he can keep chasing. So she always has to be a few steps ahead, even in simple things that should be able to be verbalized, but she can't think of something simply. She has to make sure that every single word, every single sway of the hips, every single outfit that's put on is not considered to be too off-putting or too sexy or not sexy enough, or it's the wrong color for this day, or is it after Labor Day? Like all types of stuff that women go through that men don't really care about, right? That we males don't care about, that our female counterparts have to go through. And so they're going to need reassurance. There's going to be times where you say things to them and they're going to need you to reassure. And by the way, if you need reassurance, make sure that you're willing to hear the person who's reassuring you, right? Make sure you take time out to make sure that that person who's going to reassure you, that they are being given the opportunity to not just, be gone off on, or if you do go off on them, make sure that they have the opportunity to defend themselves and to reassure you. A lot of times, it's, well, why'd you say that? And then somebody begins to try to explain themselves and they can't even reassure you because you're already going at them. But love requires reassurance, right? And men, we go through it too. I have to be reassured. I've been through relationships in the past. And so with my wife, she'll say something and it triggers something that happened with someone else that I thought I could trust, and they showed I couldn't trust. And so she says something that's similar to it, and my mind immediately goes back to the dirtiness that was done to me by somebody else. And she's had to love on me and reassure me and deal with my frustrations, and sometimes very unnecessary venting of said frustration. So just understand that we're all need reassurance, that love requires reassurance, and if you are going to go to the next level in your relationship, you better make sure that you're ready to be somebody who is great at reassurance. All right, so that's all that I had. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate the king and queen in each and every one of you, and even if you're not living inside of that kingdom or queendom yet, I appreciate the potential king and queen in each and every one of you. I want to give a shout out, I believe it's to at Christina, or at _ Christina _ T on Twitter, who's been sending a lot of shout outs. She's been busy sharing a lot of things, and so I appreciate when people are looking out for us. We'll try to give you a shout out on the next podcast whenever that comes out. But thank you for all the work that you putting in and all the time. That it's apparent that you're listening to us and seeing something that's helping you to grow. And because of all the stuff that you're putting in, please, email us. It's in the description box if you look at our stuff on YouTube, or if you want to direct message us through the Twitter page. Make sure that you take time out to let us know what you'd like us to talk about. And we love your spirit. We appreciate what you're doing for us. And we just want to show you love too. For the kingdom of heaven, it suffereth violence, the violent are taking it by force. So we should be out there making sure that we take care of each other. That's all that I have. Thank you guys. I appreciate the king and queen in each and every one of you. And even if you're not living inside of that kingdom or queendom yet, I appreciate the potential king and queen inside of each and every one of you, because it's already there. The potential's already there. It's just time for you now to take what's there and begin to make manifestation happen. That being said, this is our year of living in purpose. Hashtag living in purpose. So we hope you join us on that journey. And if you haven't heard this yet, you are loved, You are necessary. You are majestic. You are fearfully and wonderfully made, and you will be the reason why this world changes for the better. So, as always, this is Devin, aka Ashe, aka Kofi, pastor of Servants of Christ, where we are always changing lives one mind at a time. And until I have the chance to be before you again,